Hi, I want to do this video on the personality changes that occur with marijuana. Marijuana, THC, cannabis, it has a lot of changes that occur, and I've talked about physical changes and all sorts of risk factors in other videos. Just go to my YouTube. It's about 6-7 months ago. You can find it, where I talk about the effects of marijuana on the body and and other aspects of your life. But this one is the nuances of personality traits that marijuana affects. The first one I want to talk about is impulsivity. How does that affect you? Well, the normal restraints, the normal way an individual thinks about hesitation, reflection, before he engages in a behavior, it's called impulse control, is lowered. You become much more impulsive to buy, to eat, to consume alcohol, to do things which you find discomforting, and do things which you find pleasurable. So you become impulsive to do things which you find pleasurable, or you may reflexively want to say in an interaction with someone. So interpersonally, if someone asks you for a favor, say, I'm not driving you to the airport, just because that's a reflex. Where if you think about it, you're like, sure, I'd like to take you. You've taken me. We work together. We're friends, blah, blah, blah. Someone says, could you help me move? Your impulse is primal. What's ever good for you at the moment, whatever is hedonistically appropriate for you, whatever is immediate pleasure, avoid anything which is discomfort for you. Say it, do it. So it interferes with relationships with family, friends, significant other. You see, if you just say the immediate thing you think of impulsively, you may hurt a relationship, a job. Your boss is like, hey, will you fly to Philadelphia this weekend? Your impulse is like, not really, but you have to think it through and think, if I go there, I might get a promotion, more money, I might make a contact in Philadelphia, blah, 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 blah. You see where I'm going with that? The second one would be hostility. People who smoke marijuana, not when they're high. I am talking about after being high. The high wears off the next day. The effects of marijuana when you're high are different than basically what's called the interdose personality when you're not high. High is a different thing. It's like when you're drunk, you're different when you're not drunk. But still it's affecting you. Marijuana is significantly affecting you when you're not high. When you're high, you're a different animal. Peaceful, high, euphoria, blah. We all can kind of guess what that is. You're high. You're happy. But when you're not high, we've discussed impulsivity, but there's hostility and aggression. You may lash out verbally, even physically. You are just not a peaceful person. You're more irritable. You're more angry. You're not, as we would say, easygoing. You're difficult to get along with. Everything's a problem. Could you take the garbage out? Could you run this errand? Could you help me with this? You need to get this garage cleaned. You need to get this project done. Everything's a problem. So they express irritability and aggression. The next one would be, this is a common one, I think everyone knows this one, paranoia. You think people are looking at you in a negative way. It's like your brain regresses to some primal state where everything is a possible threat. People are looking at you, talking about you negatively. You won't get along with people. So you're in a constant state of fear. So if you're getting high all the time, you're paranoid that people are talking and thinking about you in negative ways. And so you live in fear all the time. It's a state of heightened anxiety, not when you're high, in between dosing, in between getting high, you're fearful. And because of this, the next thing you become is avoidant. You avoid people. People who are smoking marijuana chronically avoid people. And also, they're self-consumed with their own thoughts. The world is projected, everything's about them and is projected on the world around them. Me, 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 me. Self-consumed, and everything's about their immediate pleasure and what they want to do. And if they don't hedonistically get to do what pleasure thing they want to do, they become irritable. Then the common ones, trouble concentrating, no motivation to do anything. When they're high, they have great ideas. Nothing gets followed through. Oh, here's another one that's not that well known. The lack of desire to seek out new stimuli. When you get high, your personality changes. You don't seek out new things. You wind up doing the same routine every day. I had one guy who was cutting the lawn in the Keys, in between the highway. Woke up the same time every day, cut the lawn, went home, got high. Same thing every day. That's a very common one that I don't think a lot of people know about. They're very ritualistic and they get into the same thing every day. They're very formulaic, routine. They get the same routine or the formula down, they keep doing it. Also, they're more moody. They're kind of going into these down moods. They have a forlorn sense of the future. Also, they're not as concerned with the feelings, the rights, and the mood of someone else. They can't appreciate someone being happy or someone being sad. They're not as empathetic. They cannot deal with frustration. Anything that gets in the way of their completing a goal is a problem. They become very frustrated. And also, they're always in the same kind of down, slightly off, irritable mood. Their range of expression from happy, sad, anxious is kind of, if they're getting high all the time, they're always in the same kind of, not a bad mood, but a little irritable, a little sad. These are some of the nuances of what happens when someone chronically smokes marijuana. Yeah, I talked about the physical and all the other effects marijuana does in another video, but this one is the nuances and the change in their personality. There are more videos on effects of marijuana on the individual on my YouTube channel, Mark Agresti, M.D. Also, I talk about this in my book, Tales from the Couch, on Amazon.com, and I get more into this in my blog at dragresti.com. Thank you.